Hi, hey everybody. Welcome to Dysfunctional. I'm your host, Giselle. Or, in other words, mi nombre es Giselle. No hablo mucho español, so the rest of this episode will be in English. That is not all the Spanish I know. I just get very embarrassed when I speak Spanish. I feel like I don't sound how I should, because I've been told that I don't sound how I should. Anyway, welcome back to Dysfunctional. Before we hop into the topic of this episode, make sure you are following all of my socials. That way you are staying updated on everything that I make and everything that I come out with. I am simply a 22-year-old girl who loves to talk, and hopefully you guys find some interest in something I say. That being said, follow my socials. I post on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can find these episodes full on Spotify, some full video episodes on YouTube. But let's hop into it. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome for the first time if you've never heard my voice. My name is Giselle. As you can see by the title of this episode, it is called My Culture and Me. Now, if this is your first time seeing me, and if we are not friends, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Giselle. Again, I'm 22. A lot of people know, some people assume I am Mexican and black. I've gotten kind of like all kinds of answers as to, or all kinds of guesses as to what I am. But I'm here to tell you, Mexican, black, that's it. So today we're going to be getting into that. I am going to be repeating those two words over and over again, because those are, part of who I am. But we are going to start with, well, really they kind of do intertwine in a lot of the conversation we'll have today. But first, we are going to start with what I said at the beginning of this video. I don't speak a lot of Spanish. I don't speak Spanish at all, really. It is not used in my everyday life, meaning people who know that I struggle with Spanish speak to me in English, which doesn't help you guys. I love my friends who are fluent in both languages, and I love that they accommodate me. I'm very grateful. Thank you to everybody who does take pity on me and use English. But I do want to start learning. I have been using all my resources around me to learn. I used to have an English to Spanish dictionary when I was a kid. I don't remember what ages. I want to say like in my preteen years. I wouldn't use it as often as I should have, but I was not taught how to speak Spanish, which is really weird. I was spoken Spanish too sometimes, which wasn't a lot. Mainly when we were being cussed out. You guys know that once you start hearing your moms speak in Spanish, you're in really big trouble. So that was like kind of what it was for me. I did write a full layout for this episode, so if you see me in the video, oh wait, guys, I have a new couch. This is my new podcast couch. It's a futon, and of course it's green because my favorite color is green. But yeah, this is my new futon. She's soft. She's so soft and she's so comfortable. I love her so much. She was given to me by a really good friend of mine because she moved and abandoned me. I'm just kidding. I hope that she is doing well. I don't know if she watches my content, but if you do, I miss you, Miss Girl. I wish you the best, and I'm so sad. I'm glad that you are moving on to bigger, better things, but it doesn't make it any less hard. Anyway, I'll tell you the tea. So yeah, I was not taught Spanish as a child. For me, being taught Spanish is like you're spoken Spanish to every day. You're explained to Spanish is explained to you from time to time, and you pick up on it. Now, Spanish was never spoken to me every day. My mother actually said that she did not want me and my sibling to learn Spanish because she wanted to talk about us right in front of us. hey, Miss Girl, do your thing. But I think it would have been useful to have 2 kids who spoke Spanish, because it kind of like, okay, here's the thing. My sibling, they lived in Mexico for like a year, a couple of months. I don't know. The timeline switches. I don't know. I wasn't there. I was born, but I was like a newborn, or not a newborn. I was very little. So I don't remember ever them being there, but they got to go live in Mexico, and I stayed in the States. Now I'm just gonna give you a background. All right, a lot of people ask this. Here's your answer. The reason a lot of people ask, how are you here, Giselle, is because my mother is in fact a lesbian. And so the question in everybody's head since I was a kid was, well, how are you? How did you come about? I'm about to tell you. My mother met my father, for lack of better words, her sperm donor, really. Neither of them deserve a title of a parent, but she does more so, I guess. But my mother met her sperm donor in Mexico when she was over there, and they ended up together. I don't like my father. I don't care. I just don't like none of my family at this point. I'm not gonna speak too much on him because he's living his life, and that is what it is. But my mom would tell us every birthday just how much alcohol it took to create us. A lot, let me tell you that. But my mom, when pregnant with us, first she got pregnant with my sibling. She came to the States because she wanted us to be U.S. citizens. So, because she's a U.S. citizen, and my father is not. He is born and raised in Mexico, but she brought us over here in her belly and had us here. And then 3 years later, she went back for something fabulous, y'all, and there I was waiting. I was conceived on a beach. That was the only thing I remember from the story of my conception. Is that how you say that? I wish I didn't know that. I do. Okay. But also, I don't know if I get the alcohols right, because the alcohols were switched every time I was told. But I think I was made from tequila, Hennessy, and I know my mom likes Jack. And there's a C word. There's a C alcohol that she used to like really like. I don't know alcohol. I don't drink. I drink with my friends, but I don't really drink because it's not my thing. But anyway, y'all know I can get off track. But yeah, so she brought us both back to the States. And I'm not going to get into their whole story because it doesn't matter to what this episode is about. But I never been to Mexico. I've never stepped foot. I've never been close to going. The closest I've been is when we're dropping, like when I drop my friends off. I don't drop them off. I go with friends to go drop. You know what I mean? Like towards the border. I've never been. My mother would be like, hey, I'm going to TJ, or I'm going to go over there for like a day. And then she'd come back with treats and snacks, and it was so cool because she has. Okay, tell me if anybody knows what these are, because I swear I explain it to my friends who have lived in Mexico or who visit often, and they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So let me know if you can help me out. It is these candies, and they are different colors, and they have. I'm gonna butcher this word, but a salelito. I don't know how to say it. I'm so sorry. But they have the little salalitos on the top, and it's like sugar, but it's like salted sugar. I don't know how to explain it, but they're colorful. They come in those little cups, and then they have the plastic on top with the rubber band around it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Please know what I'm talking about, because if anybody's going to Mexico soon and they want to bring me some, I'd love you more than anything. But yeah. And now people might ask, like, why don't you go? I don't know. I always have this fear that I'm going to run into my dad. And I don't want to do that. I just don't feel no, that is not a reunion I need to have. But anyway, I do think that my mom should have definitely taught us Spanish. And because they lived there for however long they did, my sibling understands Spanish more than I do. I only understand it when my mom or my grandmother talks to me. Other than that, blank. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm used to their mannerisms. My grandmother, not completely. There still be like confusion there, but my mom, pretty well. I know what she's talking about when she's talking about me, or like when she's telling me to do something. Maybe because she's told me before when she's mad at me. Obviously you can tell by body language too. But my mom only ever taught me how to sing in Spanish, and that was about it. And you'd think like, oh, you'd pick it up. I've watched telenovelas like over and over again. My favorite one, which we'll get into, is Maria la del Barrio. I can't roll my R's, y'all. I'm gonna butcher so many words. I'm so sorry. But that is one of my favorite telenovelas. I'll watch it over and over and over again. And yes, I will have the subtitles on. But one time I had it off and I knew this by heart. And I still could not understand what the hell they were talking about. I mean, I knew what was going on because I'd already watched it. But I still did not know. I don't know. I mean, I can pick up things like when I'm at, okay, here's the thing. I wish I was taught at an early age so that I could already just like have it at the back of my mind. It's second nature, because if y'all didn't know, Alma is Mexican. She says it in my Day at the Fair vlog. If you haven't watched that, go watch it now. But she's Mexican. And a lot of people when we were in high school would like make fun of her because she looks to them, not to me. Maybe because I've seen all kinds of... So, for example, my father has like a couple, plenty different kids. And one of them, spit image of me, white. Just looks white, pale. But she is more Mexican than I. Because she, you know how that... You know what I'm talking about? But like my parents... here, meaning my mom and my stepmom, would constantly tell me like, oh my god, your sister looks so much like you. And I hated when they called her that. It's nothing against her. She was a kid. She didn't know me. I didn't know her. She wanted, she was just a kid in the world. But I honestly didn't like it just because of my own things. But she is pale. And she's not the first pale Mexican I've seen, but those are not, like, where I was raised, there weren't a lot of pale Mexicans at all that I know of. And if you were mixed with something. So it wasn't like you were full Mexican and just pale, like you just didn't get your melanin in. It was, you were mixed with something else. I was raised with a lot of different cultures and communities, and mixed. We've jumped all over San Diego, so we've lived all over, and we went to Pennsylvania and Texas, not in that order. We went to Texas first, then Pennsylvania. And we'll get into that and just some difficulties that I faced as a little brown girl in both of those places. But I feel bad when I'm at work and my manager, she's fluent in Spanish. I believe that's her first language, because she'll have to help me in Spanish and I have to help her in English. Like, not with customers. She can speak to customers very well. I mean, obviously she's fluent in both languages. Just when she's typing up something, she'll ask me to come read it over and, make sure it sounds good and professional and just makes sense. And she'll say certain things, but she'll mispronounce it. So I'll just help her with that. And there's times, unfortunately, and I love her so much, there's been times where she's been scolding me about something in regards to my job. It's been like once or twice that she's done it, and she said a word and I just sat there and I looked at her and I just repeated the word correctly. And I it's a habit, because I always do that for her. That way she knows, like, hey, this is how it's pronounced, because I don't want her to be in a meeting and say that. And it's gotten me and my coworker confused, where we were like, wait, what are you talking about? And then she said the word again, And we just still stared at her, and then we finally got the word, and we just were we all three of us were dying of laughter, because it was like, there's no way that you went that far. But she's very sweet. She takes it like a champ, just like I take it like a champ when she makes fun of me for speaking Spanish. She doesn't make fun of me. We poke fun at each other. But the other day, for example, I had a customer, and he spoke a little bit of English. It was just enough for me to help him, and he still wasn't grasping a little bit of what I was saying. And so she jumped in and started talking to him, and then walked away, and I'm like, no, wait, come back, please. But his wife was trying to understand what extra he was buying, because our protection plan is an extra cost for the jewelry. And that's when she was writing something or doing something on the counter that we have, and then she looks up and says, oh, it's a protection plan, but she says that in Spanish. And I just look at her, I'm like, thank you, because I get embarrassed when I talk Spanish. I don't want to say something wrong. I've said something wrong before. The most I can say is when they ask me, do you speak Spanish? I say, yo comprendo, pero es muy difícil. That's all I say. Or, that's it. That's all I say, because I don't know how to properly speak Spanish, and I don't want to, I don't know. I don't want to, I get embarrassed easily, but I'm learning and I'm getting there. I know that to say earrings is aretas, I think. But my customers have been very patient with me. If they're there and they know too who speaks Spanish, and it's just my manager, so they know when she's not there to do hand gestures. So if they're looking for a chain, they'll do the the looping around their neck, and earrings, they'll point to their ears. Rings, very easy, just they wiggle their ring finger. So my customers are very, very sweet and understanding. One lady was so funny. She knew barely any English, but she was so sweet, so patient. And at the end of the transaction, she said, you learned Spanish? And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Thea, I promise I will learn Spanish. She hasn't come in yet, so I haven't been tested, but I will learn Spanish just for her and for all my customers. I feel bad when my manager's busy and customers come up and I have to send them to her or have them wait for her because I don't speak Spanish, and they don't speak enough English for me to try and help them, or they just don't want me to attempt to help them because they just want to be understood right away, which is right. That's fair. That's completely fair. I never get impatient with customers that don't speak English, just like customers don't get impatient with me for not speaking the languages they know. It's just how things are, unfortunately. Sometimes you have to have patience on both sides, so I always try to remember that. But yeah, I feel like I should have been taught at a young age. And my grandma, she would always kind of get upset with me because, like I said, I know how to sing in Spanish. I know a lot of the music that my mom taught me. I know a lot of what the story is behind the lyrics, and I would always sing in Spanish. And my grandma likes to sit in the back seat of the car, so I would sit in the passenger seat next to my mom, and I'd be singing in Spanish, and my grandma would hit the back of my seat, and she'd call me a pendeja, and then she'd tell me, you need to speak Spanish. And my grandma speaks English and Spanish, and she's like, you need to speak Spanish. It's not gonna help if you're singing. So, that was another reason why I stopped singing around my grandma. But, yeah, my grandma was funny when it came to that. My grandma's actually where I learned how to partially cook one Mexican dish. I wanted to learn how to cook tamales, but as you guys know, I don't really talk to my family. Not really. I don't talk to my family, so that's not going to happen, but I can always learn. But I learned how to make albondigas because of my grandma. We went to go see her in one night, and she brought out a little Tupperware of albondigas, and it was one of the best things I had ever tried in regards to Mexican food. And I immediately went to the kitchen and I started trying to put together albondigas. I mean, I saw that it was meat, rice. I was just trying to guess the seasonings, and she came over and she was like, "Oh, this is good. Is this left over from what I had?" And I was like, "No, I made that." And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You forgot." And then she told me some of the ingredients I forgot. And I was like, "You just said it was good." But it made it even better. So thank you to her for that. Yeah, no, she was very... As you guys know, when you're cooking with your abuelita, or if you call them your grandma, because we first started calling her Nana, but we grew up. We didn't grow up with her. She and my mom, that's not my story to tell. Never mind. I'm sorry. I apologize. But we didn't grow up with my grandma at all. We grew up with her for a couple years in our lives, and then not a couple years, and then she came back. That's all I'm going to say about that, because when she came back is when I learned how to make albondigas. But that is one of my favorite things to cook. Now, we've talked a little bit about the conversation aspect of my culture and how I fail in that department. I'm so sorry, guys. But we are now going to go into the culture itself. Now, I did say at the beginning of this that I am Black and Mexican. I am barely Black. I am more Mexican than I am Black. That's all I can really say about that. I was raised heavily having both cultures around me. You know, when you're raised where I was raised, I don't want to say in the hood, but kind of. That's what you're kind of raised around. You know, that's where we lived. We had, you know, Mexicans, Asians, Black people, more than Mexicans too. We had a lot of different Hispanic people. So we're gonna talk a bit about my culture, both sides, and kind of what I grew up with. Now, I love how I grew up in regards to certain aspects of my culture. I think that, let me explain. I grew up in a very melanated society. There was maybe a handful of Caucasian kids. There was more of POCs where I lived. I was one of them. And it wasn't until I lived in Pennsylvania that I went to a predominantly white school. And we will get into that. Terrible, 0 out of 10, don't recommend for me. No. And I'm not saying we're not gonna go and be like, Giselle hates white people. No, Giselle does not hate anybody. Giselle hates ignorant meanies. Okay, we will get into that later though. Let's go into the culture. Now, the favorite things about my culture, and they're very, like, they are the foundation of any culture, is the cooking, the music, the dancing, the traditions you might have, you know, the way we celebrate birthdays. It's, you know, there's different things. I would go to my friends' birthdays, and the friends that were raised with everyday speaking Spanish, they would be singing, you know, the piñata song. I don't know what I just know it as they'd be like, "Hey, we're doing the piñata," and then they'd be like, I don't want to sing it because I'm embarrassed. But it'd be like, dale, dale, dale. That's all I know. I'm done. But that's, they, oh my God. I'm going to get so made fun of. But anyway, let's start with some of my favorite foods. Now, this is a mixture of what I like to eat from the cultures, from both cultures, and what I love to make. So what I love to eat, conchas, of course, and I like to warm them up. Some people don't. Is that only a me thing? I don't know who I'm looking at, because there's nobody in my podcast room. I do that a lot. I'll look as if there's like a cast and crew here. It's just me. But do y'all do that? I warm mine up, or I like them fresh. Some people just buy them, whether they're there for like a couple hours or something, and then eat them. I like to, if I buy them like that, I go home, I warm them up, I pour me a glass of milk. If I have some hot chocolate, I'll make some hot chocolate, and I'll eat it like that. But no, some people like them cold. Can't fuck with those people. I don't trust them. Just conchas, of course. Now, I was corrected on how to say this next one. I hope I say it right. Rebanada de mantequilla. You know those little... Okay, I'm just going to explain it in case I said it wrong. Those breads, they're the long breads. They look like moons to me. I don't know if they are moons, but they're long. They have butter and sugar on top. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. I dream of those, and I'm not even joking. I've had dreams where I've been woken up in the middle of eating one, and it's so magical every time. But I like those. Lucas Chamoy ice cream. You guys know I've had... Oh my god. Lucas Chamoy ice cream is one of the best fucking ice creams I've ever had. And I've had pickle ice cream, and that was really good too. I had that in Texas. Texas has pickle everything. They have pickle saladitos over there. And my mom, before we, drifted, she bought pickle saladitos and she gave me a few, and I was very appreciative. But they turn your entire mouth green. I had one, and my whole mouth, my teeth, my tongue, green. I looked like I sucked off Oscar the Grouch. I think I'm gonna say this wrong too. Rompompe, the bolis ones, the yellow bolis that... Y'all know what I'm talking about. I swear I'm cultured. I just can't pronounce things. But the bolis, I love those, the yellow ones. Rompompe, I think is how you say it. They're so good. I love those. I remember when I had food stamps. I mean, that's not embarrassing. But when I had first started living on my own, like officially on my own, no roommate, no nothing. Before I moved in with my last roommate, my first love. Big mistake, guys. Don't move in with somebody. No, I'm playing. I'm just kidding. But when I was officially living on my own, no roommate, no nothing, I had food stamps because your girl is and was poor, and I would go to Food for Less, and I would buy all my necessities, which wasn't a lot for where I was living at, because I basically get things for work, and then at the time I could afford DoorDash, so I would spend more there, which I've learned not to do that. But I would get those as like a treat, and I would write my name on all of them, because I didn't live with roommates, but there was people. It was a shared kitchen. I don't know how to explain it. But it wasn't roommates, but it kind of was. Anyway, but I would put my name on all of them and put them in the freezer just so people knew they're mine. Back off. But those were my favorites at that time. I love them. They're so good. Albóndigas, I already said that. I love greens. I can't explain my love for greens. I used to hate them, and I know I did. I used to be a greens hater. Let me explain. Okay, let me explain. And if we were still good friends, my first love can attest to this, but we're not friends, so they can't. But when I was a teenager, I was 17 when I met my first love, and I had never been cooked really good soul food. We didn't discover that upon meeting each other, though. So my first love, they happened to be black, and I remember they invited me over before I went to go cheer at a football game, because I was a cheerleader. And I remember their mom, so sweet. I love you. You're amazing. But she offered me a plate of food. Now, this lady can throw down in the kitchen, okay? She puts her foot in every meal she makes. All right? Love her. But I'm very wary of trying other people's food. Now, in my culture, you eat what's on the plate. You don't get to say no. But she didn't even, like, when at least growing up how I did, when they ask, they don't ask, they put it in front of you and you eat. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh, are you hungry? I can make you a plate. It was literally like, here, I made you a plate. And you couldn't say yes, you couldn't say no. You had to eat. You couldn't even speak. You couldn't say, like, you had to say thank you, of course. But you couldn't be like, oh, yeah, thanks, I am hungry. No, just start eating. Say thank you, eat. So, and if you didn't like something on there, it didn't matter. It didn't, because you had to eat it anyway. So, but she asked me, like, oh, are you hungry? I'm going to make you a plate. Or I can make you a plate. And I was like, oh my God, what if I don't like her food? And at the time I had a crush on my first love. And I didn't want to insult their mom. So I was like, I'm about to insult this person's mom by not either I eat their food, I don't like it, which I don't know why I didn't think I would like it. It smelled heavenly, but I'm always very cautious. So I was like, no, I'm not even hungry. Tell me why this person went, she lying, mama. She said she was gonna go get some carne asada fries. She's going to a football game. She's hungry. And I'm just sitting there like, please shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. And she was like, well, I'm gonna make you a plate because I don't want you spending your money when you can have food here. And I was like, okay, sure. And then they start making me a plate. She put some salad on there. And everybody knows I hate salads. It's not I'm a skinny queen, or like it's not, wait, that's the opposite. It's not like, oh my God, I could never, I love cheeseburgers. No, it's not like that for me, I promise you. I genuinely have tried so many different dressings. I have tried so many different salads. Somebody put strawberries and raisins in a salad once, and it's haunted me forever. It gives me osco. But oh my God, I'm sweating. But she put salad on the plate. They once again speak up, and in my mind I'm like, shut up, I will swallow the salad whole. Okay, don't embarrass me like this. But they were like, mama, she doesn't like salad. And I'm just sitting there like, yes I do, I love salad. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. It's not. I've tried. I've genuinely tried, and it's not I'm not a person where it's like, oh, I hate healthy food. I could never. No, I love healthy food. I do. I love vegetables. My favorite vegetable is asparagus. All right, I love asparagus. I love corn. I like broccoli, especially when it's buttered. Yeah. But anyway, so again, for the first time, their mom goes, she's grown, she don't have to eat it. I'd never been told that in my life. So they ate the salad and I didn't. I felt bad because I felt disrespectful, but she said she was okay with it. She goes, not everybody likes salad, that's fine. Like, you don't have to eat it. That is what it is. And then again, I went back, and this was about 2 years into our friendship. No, a year, or no, around almost 2 years into our friendship. And this was 2 years. So it was 2 years into our friendship, and I went and was gonna spend the night, and she made food. And again, you don't, like, when you go over to people's houses, sometimes they make food and they don't make some for you, which is totally fair. She always offered me a plate, and I love her for that. But she made mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna look so bad. I hate mashed potatoes. I've made them myself. I liked it a little bit because I played around with some seasonings. But I don't like mashed potatoes. And then this is the night that we discovered why I am a picky eater. Now, again, we're there, and she's talking about making plates. It's me, my first love, and our mutual friend. And they're both like, yeah, like, I'm hungry or whatever. And then I'm like staying quiet because I see that there's mashed potatoes involved, and I don't like mashed potatoes. And she asks me, and I'm like, huh? Yeah, I'm hungry. No, I do have trouble eating sometimes. So that was going on at that time. I don't want to talk about that. But I do have some trouble eating at times. So I was dealing with that. And then she puts down a little bowl of mashed potatoes for me. And once again, here they go. Oh, she doesn't like mashed potatoes. Why can't you just shut your ass up, bro? I appreciate what you're doing, but I will eat everything, okay? I'll sit here for hours if I have to. But once again, she goes, she doesn't have to eat them. Like, if she doesn't like them, that's fine. Let her eat. And immediately I felt bad because I don't like disappointing people when it comes to their food. So I immediately like jumped up, like I was sitting in the chair like shying away, and I jumped up and I immediately took a big old bite of those mashed potatoes. It was the best mashed potatoes I've ever had. To this day, I've never had mashed potatoes like that. All right. And she put some kind of broth in there. She did say that. I don't remember what. Was it beef stock? I want to say it was that. I don't want to give secrets out. Just kidding. But she can cook like nobody else can cook. And I love her for that. But, yeah. So that's when we discovered. We went over things I don't like. And one of them was greens. They asked, how could you not like greens? And I said, they're gross and disgusting. And then they went, you ain't ever had my mama's greens and you like my mama's mashed potatoes. So I'm going to say you like her greens. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I've had her greens. I don't know. I've had other people's greens too. Like Shanice's mom got me into cornbread. So Shanice's mom actually made cornbread and Shanice brought some to school and I told her, oh, I hate cornbread. No, I just have never had good soul food made for me. So now I love soul food because it's made properly. When it's made properly. I will say though, my mom makes some killer mac and cheese. I love that woman's mac and cheese. I'll make it now. I can't share the secrets because it's just not for y'all. But I love her mac and cheese. That's some good mac and cheese. I'll give her that. But so back to the soul food that my first love's mother made, gumbo. That's another one of my favorite foods. I love gumbo. I've never had it until I was, with them. And I remember the first time I had it, they like to pick on me. And I was in the kitchen with their grandma and then their mom, and they were explaining all of what they made, and they said like, go ahead and make yourself a bowl or a plate or whatever. And so I started making some, and their grandma goes, oh look, she's shy. I was shy. So their mom moves me out the way and is like, here, I'll make you a plate, and put a lot more than what I've ever would have put on, and it was delicious and I ate all of it, so that's great. But yeah, they're where I first tried genuine soul food. Shanice and then my first love's mother, and it's just they're where I learned I'm not picky. I just never had good soul food, and I should have known that it wasn't me, it was the people that were cooking. And this is not trying to insult my mother in any like condescending way. She was just good at Mexican food. Like that was it. Because I go to like the only things in certain things she couldn't make that she just never did. It wasn't that she couldn't make it like certain Mexican food, she just never did. And so I would go to Alma's and have some Mexican food over there, go home, my mom just never made it. First time I tried, I'm gonna really butcher this, birria. Yeah, birria. First time I ever tried that was at a quince. It was delicious. I ate 3 plates. They kept putting it in front of me and it just magically disappeared. I don't know what happened, but delicious. I want to learn how to make gumbo and birria, but I almost learned how to make gumbo last Christmas, but me and their mom were talking more than we were cooking. That's just, I love cooking with people, and that's how it goes. Like, you're having a good time, you're cooking, you're laughing, dancing, I don't know, like you're just having a good time. I love cooking with people. It's calm for me. I just love that. But yeah, so now we're going to get into the food that I cannot stand. Some of it is texture wise, some of it is taste wise, and some of it is because of the ingredients. All right, we'll get into that. So, one food, elotes. Now I know that is a staple. I know, but hear me out. I don't like things around my mouth like this that smell weird, and I don't like mayonnaise. So watching them make it, I know that there's mayonnaise on it, and people say, well, just get it with butter. And then it's the cheese, okay, the cheese, because it and it just bothers me. And it's not the taste, because all of it together, amazing, delicious. I can't do it though. I can't, because then I think about, no, I'm so sorry. Arroz con leche. This is, I know it's another staple. I'm so sorry. It's the texture. Some people have made it too mushy. One person made it too dry. I don't know how that happened, but I can't do it. It's also somewhat the taste. It just doesn't taste right to me. I don't know why. But okay, this next one is because, and I'll tell you. Hold on. Tacos de lengua. No, wrong. Ew, gross. Okay, I had to go buy the tongue. Yeah, in case you didn't know, tacos de lengua is cow tongue. Well, tongue. No, I had to go buy the tongue myself. I don't care how good that smelled. I'm not doing it. I know where it came from. I'm good. I'm okay. And people are going to be like, well, why don't you feel that way about all meats? You know, my vegan friends, I love y'all. I'm so sorry. It's different for me. I can't do it. I can't. And as soon as I bought that, I looked at my mom like she was crazy, and she goes, what? You used to love tacos de lengua. When were you feeding me this? Because you didn't make me go buy it. Ugh. I also had to buy a pig head. That was embarrassing. Not embarrassing like carrying it. I don't care. Like, I'll buy what I want. It was embarrassing to look at and kind of terrifying. Maybe that's the word I meant. I can't do it. And she used to be like, I used to make you, I don't know what the dish was, but she said I used to suck on the snout. And I'm like, what was I sucking up? Mocos? Like, ew, why? And I don't rag on people for eating this kind of stuff. It's just, I cannot look my food in the face. I can't do it. It's for me. And now if my friends eat it, I'm never like, ew, you can eat that. No, because I'm not that type of person. You eat what you want to eat. I can't bring myself to. It's just me. But yeah, no. Catfish. This is just another one of those things where it's like I've never had it made amazingly, so I don't know. But yeah, catfish. I don't like catfish. Maybe because every time my stepmom, who happens to be Puerto Rican, made it when I was a kid, it was gross and kind of burnt, I think. I don't know, it tasted burnt. Is catfish supposed to be burnt? It like not be burnt, but does it have a burnt taste? Maybe I was just a kid and I didn't realize. I don't know. I didn't like catfish. Demi doesn't like catfish either. Just kidding. She likes everything. So yeah, those are some of the foods that I liked or disliked as a child. There's probably more that I loved. I love a lot of food. I'm usually not that picky. That's a lie. I kind of am at times. Yeah. But, like, I don't like condiments. That's for another episode, though. Maybe I'll just sit here and for an episode I'll list everything that I like and everything that I don't like. No, I'm playing. But now we're going to go into some of my favorite songs and artists that I grew up with. This is going to be on both sides. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to think. I have some written down, not all of them. DysfunctionElle. I grew up with a lot of DysfunctionElle. I actually was going to surprise my mom for her birthday by singing, how do you pronounce it? Un puño de tierra? Tierra. I can't roll my R's. I learned how to sing that song. I'm not going to sing it, but I did learn how to sing that song. And I was, in fact, going to sing it for her on her birthday because she wants specific songs for when she, passes away, but I don't remember all of the songs, but we always used to sing this together, and I would just be like, like kind of catching on to the words, but now I know how to sing it. I've known for as long as we've been apart. But Selena, of course. Sade. That's Sade. Sade. Some people don't know how to say that. So I'm just saying. My friends used to say, like, who's Sade? But Sade. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Anyway, I grew up with a lot of her music. I love her music. We listen to a lot of R&B and just Mexican music in general, or Hispanic music. I grew up with like a lot of Missy Elliott. I grew up with like just a lot of different Hispanic artists. I have a couple of my favorite songs here. I'll list them out. These are in no order at all. Hold on, I need to scroll down. Okay. No Me Queda Más by Selena. Love that one. Very sad. Very good. Any Selena song is amazing though. Dos Locos. Oh, I love that one. By Monchi y Alexandra. That's how they say it in the beginning. Y Alexandra. Dos Locos. If you don't know what that song is, it's about two people singing to each other, and from my understanding and from what I was explained to and what I looked up, it's about two people who are in love with each other, but they're with other people, I think, and they're saying like, we're crazy, we're stupid, like that kind of thing. They say I think it's que tontos, que locos. So they're saying like crazy, stupid, que tonto. I think that's how stupid, que loco, que tontos, que locos somos. Yeah. So they're basically saying that they're crazy, they're stupid, they're with other people, but they are thinking about each other or something. Hijo de la Luna. Oh wait, I skipped. Oh well, un puño de tierra. I cannot pronounce it. By Ramon Ayala. That one was just what we woke up to every Sunday when my mom decided it was her cleaning day. So, smell of fabuloso in the air. Hijo de la Luna. That one I loved. I didn't hear it until my teen years. So the story is like this girl basically prays to the moon, please give me a man, bring me a man, basically saying like, I want him tall, dark, and handsome. So she prays to the moon and says, please give me a man, and the moon is like, all right, Miss Girl, here's the deal, I'll give you a man if you give me your firstborn child. I want a child. And the woman is kind of like taunting the moon, is being like, the moon wants to be a mom, like, oh wow, what are you gonna do with a child? And it literally says it like, Luna quieres, oh my god, I know it, but I don't want to say it wrong. Basically the moon wants to be a mom, but in Spanish. And so basically she ends up not giving the moon her firstborn, and so like she ends up saying like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like after she gets the man, she's like, oh right, we had a deal, well no. And then the moon's like, okay, so here's the thing, that baby is mine. And the baby comes out like white as milk with eyes that are like gray or something. And then the dad's like, hold up, that ain't my baby, who you been fucking? So the dad goes crazy because like it's not his child, and he's like, whose baby is this? What's that one thing? Who goddamn white baby is that, or something like that? And then the lady's like telling him and pleading with him like, you gotta believe me, it's your child, it's yours. And he ends up clicking her off, and then he leaves the baby in the middle of the woods, and the moon picks it up, and it says like, whenever the moon is full, the baby is content. Whenever the moon is, the crescent moon, the baby is being cradled back to sleep and it is crying or something. And I don't know, I fell in love with the song before I knew the story, and when my mom told me the story, I was like, okay, so that's not the best story, but I love it, so it's great. But yeah, that was one of my favorite ones growing up.